Today is 26 October 3 p.m. 2 hours before the market closes. Market currently trade a long dated doji with low volume, down 14 points at 3063. Now this is a very sharp downward move, and in the process it actually broke very critical support, and that become a resistance. This is at about 3130. We do have an immediate resistance here, which is the pivot high here. This is at 3093. Supports is actually at this level here, which is at 3053. Now the fact that actually this is a weak bounce, more likely it may just stuck in a trading range, trading sideways, closing our daylight, and we may expect further downward move. This resistance here is actually very important right now, unless we can clear in a very big way. Otherwise markets remain bearish. So during these periods we may see some throwback. In fact, despite the Wall Street weakness, our market is actually holding quite well. Some of the stocks we'll be discussing are showing some strength. It will be a good time here to actually identify setup during the throwback. But first, take a look at the US market. This is S&P 500 with the major moving averages. Did notice actually the 200 days was tested and there was a weak bounce, and it actually fell on the downside. So this is generally weak, bearish rather. The fact that actually the 200 days cannot support it would mean that there could be further downward move, and 50 SMA appeared to be resistant to contend with as well. Now if you take a look at the Nasdaq, which is much stronger index, again with the major moving averages, if you notice right now, this bear bar yesterday, bear bar itself is approaching this 200 days. Now if this is broken, this will be essentially negative for the market in general. So this is a level we like to actually watch. If you can throw back from here, this downward pointing, downward sloping 50 SMAs will pose a resistance. So overall market generally is small negative. This is the 10-year yield. A culprit is perhaps this 10-year treasury yield, which have strengthened. So notice we have a strong run here which broke this resistance, followed by a pullback, and appear to be actually continuing its upward move. Mentioned before that high yield is generally negative for the equity markets because it's translated to high cost of capital. Brent crude, very choppy. If you notice over here, we have very big swing. This appeared to be a resistance to contend with. This is just slightly below $84. So this is a very important resistance. Of course, it's very difficult to actually know for sure which direction you is likely to move. The fact that it's doing this, it appeared to be more likely upward than actually downward. Oil are generally affected by a few factors, and particulars is geopolitical, climate, as well as the US dollar. Combination of these three will provide us with the net outcome of the move. So the fact that we are actually holding at this level here, this is an important support level tested, and more likely it will bounce up from here, and again perhaps retest this level here, which is at about just above $93. Let's turn attention to the stock we'll be discussing. First off is actually Aztec. Now there was actually a attempt at this resistance. If you notice, it tested but didn't close well, retraced from the high. Notice the increase in volume, so it does indicate that this level here there is actually resistant, all right, supply. So this is something we're going to watch. Again, I mentioned before, generally market is negative in sentiment, so long something can be very challenging unless very significant move accompany high volume. Otherwise we just carry higher risk. But nevertheless, we like to see if it blow over, storm settles, then this perhaps may perform. Geo Energy, this stock actually raised up, and just at this level here, notice this gap is a resistance. It's just consolidate. If we break on the upside, we will need a catalyst, and this level here at 305 is something to watch. 305 and 31 cents. Now Genting's appeared to actually show some strength, attempting reversal. So if you notice, this stock has been very directional. If you notice, actually it was very nice on the way up and equally nice on the way down. And over here it found a support. This is the double bottom. It break on the upside, follow through very nicely with a wide range reversal, wide range bar. Look for a pullback and look for a setup. By then the 1326 would have turned up. Then it will be easier to trade. Another stock that is happening to actually turn up is actually Nano Firm, but it's still too early. It managed to break the 1326 SMA. Again, we like to look for the next pullback. It will give us a clue whether you have potential to actually move up further. Tech stock UMS. This stock itself have this resistance and it's advisable not to actually trade just below the resistance. If you notice, we have this extension bar, all right, high volume, and followed by a bounce. These are a series of inside bar. Volume is actually not as high, but I would like to see what happened. It's now below 1326. More likely it failed. I'd like to see it eventually take out this low here, which is at 120. I mentioned before, the stocks is difficult to trade, but we're just discussing. If you notice, it's pretty messy, right? Very violent swing, and of course below the congestion area, which is not advisable to actually trade long. Franken, again, this is a very stubborn resistance, okay, and retraced back to this area. So this appeared to be the value areas. Generally, buyer and seller agree. All right. So again, we just have to actually wait it out, and it may well even roll over. Very much depends on the performance of Wall Street. Mentioned before, ventures is perhaps the easier to trade to take for a short. Very directional. Notice the 1320 open up nicely. This is a big dipper setup at this point in time. Today bull bar is actually low volume. This is a weak bar. Sorry, this is a small dipper. Bar low here is at 1145. Let's run through some of the strong stocks that have failed. That include Vote Empire. So if you notice, actually was trying to actually form a saucer patterns, but before the resistance level it rolled down, and now trade a series of sideways bar. This is a contraction setup. Look for a break below this low here, 105. Now remember, 1326 are not quite in order. If you notice, 26 is still rising, but we're right on the momentum built in this 3 bear bar. Especially this one has a lot of energy. So again, if you trade sideways with low volume, it's an indication of a rest, and eventually look for a break.